Hi everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hour early.
We are an hour early. I'm wondering how many people are gonna jump on with us being an hour early.
I don't know. We might have threw off everybody's clock.
I know.
So that's really
All
gonna
right,
mess
I'm
with
gonna
them.
share this to my page.
Okay.
Did you share it to yours yet?
How do I share it to mine?
On your phone.
Oh, really? Okay, I can do that, I guess, right? Facebook.
How's everybody tonight? I got my hair cut Tuesday. My hairstylist says I always play with my hair when I'm on live video, so I had to just tell you I got it cut. So I posted like 4 different pictures of like different colors and cuts, and everybody liked the one cut, so I told her to cut it like that again, but I'm not coloring it like that again. I like my gray. Well,
Yeah.
That's not really gray right there.
Where?
Is this gray right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What color
like
did you
my
think
gray.
it was?
In the
It's
the
either
video
gray
here,
or
it looks
brown.
like caramel, but I don't
No,
think it
it's
is.
not caramel.
It's not caramel.
It's the
You're
lighting
like-
that we have here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you shared that to your page?
I did share that to my page.
Awesome. All right.
See, mine's right on time here. No, it's not.
No, you're
That's
a little bit
a little
behind.
bit later.
We're both.
So we got so many different, we got 3 different devices.
Should I shut this
going
down so you
on.
can't
No,
see it?
we're
'Cause
going
it's
high
distracting?
tech. We are
Well, I tried
high
to
tech.
go through YouTube Live and then stream it to Facebook, but there's something still wacky with our YouTube account, it said so. So if you're watching YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and also
Leave a
comment and
comment.
like. Yeah,
Comment, like.
if you're watching YouTube.
You probably should hit the follow button on Facebook too, right? Won't that do something if you hit the follow button on Facebook?
They probably, if they're seeing this, they probably already are following. Hey, Greg Bellows.
Oh my goodness.
Greg Bellows just joined Facebook. Everybody go
Wow. Give him
be
a
friends with
golf clap.
Greg
golf
Bellows.
clap. Golf clap. Greg Bellows. Yes.
Everybody go be Greg Bellows' friend on Facebook.
Yes. Awesome.
If you don't know, Greg is my brother-in-law, Craig's
Yes.
brother-in-law.
Yes.
And yeah,
Through your side of the family.
yes, he's married to my sister.
Correct.
Well, if he, I guess
Through
he could be married to
yours.
your sister. I was going to say he couldn't be
Yes.
your brother-in-law, but
He
he
could.
He could be if he was married to your sister.
He is my brother-in-law, but he could be the other way, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, game coming up. That's exciting.
Yes, we are set to have a game with Athens on Monday, and then
We are.
Muncie on Saturday next week.
Right.
So
Excited
Carter,
about that.
yes, Carter has been getting up at 6 a.m. to go do workouts
Yeah.
every morning.
Been
Well,
a
he's
little-
actually been getting up at 5:30.
There's been a little bit of a stink about that,
There
which
has.
has bothered me.
Oh, Greg says we meant your favorite brother-in-law.
Oh.
I have to be careful, Greg, in case other brother-in-laws are watching, but yes, that statement is true.
That is true. Okay. Yeah. The issue. Yeah, we had some kids that were trying to get in shape, and they went down to the wheel end, and some people saw them, and they were complaining that the kids were out working out, and school shut down, and they've been off quarantine
Yes.
for like 4 or 5 days now.
Their quarantine ended on September 30th.
Correct.
Yes.
And they're trying to get in shape, and God forbid if somebody tries to get in shape these days. You know what I mean? Just absolutely ridiculous. I guess they would rather them out riding in the streets or out drinking
the streets.
alcohol where nobody can see
You mean
them or something.
bicycle riding in the streets?
Rioting.
Oh, rioting.
Yes.
I thought you said
It'd
riding.
be okay if they were rioting, but since they're practicing,
Oh.
not even really practicing, just getting together and running around trying to get to shape, then they're in trouble. So.
Well, when can you have your first, official coaches practice?
I think Saturday is going to be our
Saturday?
official. I'm going to try to have a junior high one too. I
Oh,
believe.
you are? Are you going to
On
have some junior
Saturday.
high games?
I was going to have it the same time as varsity, but Wilbur's got something going on, so he can't be there when I need him to be there, so I might have to make junior high later.
And you're just the figurehead. They actually do all the work.
Wilbur does all the work, everything, so I'm going to have to make it later so Coach Wilbur can run the show. So that's what we're going to have to do.
So Stacy says that Greg is her cousin. Did you know that? His dad and my dad were brothers.
Really? No, I did not know
Did
that.
not know that either. That's awesome, Stacy. Yeah, we hang out with Greg and Becky a lot, actually.
Yes, we do.
So Carter's senior pictures are coming up on Sunday.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Is he getting a haircut before then? Or he's
No.
getting them? He's
He
getting
got a haircut like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not going to have him cut it again
Okay.
right beforehand, no.
So he's going senior mullet then. Okay.
That's what he wants, so that's what he gets.
Okay.
Did you like your hairstyle when you had your senior pictures done?
I did then.
Do you, looking back now, do you like it?
I probably would have liked it shorter.
I just saw a picture of me. It was in a drawer in the living room of my senior prom, I believe. Oh my word, my hair is huge.
Somebody just had that the other day on television, though, and I thought it looked awesome. Who was it?
Like a modern hairstyle? A girl that had huge
it was on
hair?
that show we watched on about the experiment,
Married at First Sight?
No. The domestic show where they were talking about Facebook and all that. The lady was on there, and I said, "Oh, she's got an '80s hairstyle, and it looked good on her."
Oh, The Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma, yeah.
Yes, she had big hair. Yes,
And it
she
looked
had
good.
big hair.
And it looked good.
She had Texas style hair.
Yeah, I liked it.
Hair in Texas is bigger than...
Is it really?
Oh, everything's bigger in Texas. You didn't know that? Everything is bigger
I should live in Texas then, because I'm pretty big.
We should go live in Texas. Texas would be a good state for us. Although, I've heard the weather's very hot, so Mr. Rao would not like hot.
I'm still trying to talk you into Kentucky.
No, not Kentucky.
A little bluegrass.
Kentucky seems too, like... I'd have to visit it, but it just seems too, like, kind of backwoods. I need a little bit of city. I think Nashville sounds awesome. Nashville, Tennessee, yes.
I think Kentucky.
Who agrees with me? Do you think Nashville, Tennessee sounds more appealing to live in, or...
Kentucky bluegrass.
Now, wait, what town and... what town or country?
We should live within half an hour of the Ark. So when they can go visit the Ark.
Oh, Noah's Ark.
Yeah, the one they built down there.
For some reason, I was thinking St. Louis, and I'm like, I don't think that's in
other
Kentucky.
One? The museum there, the Creation Museum. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. He said, good luck against Athens. So,
Thank you.
Right before this,
I'm a little nervous about
the
this.
football team was Zooming, strategizing, like watching game tape through Zoom. Mm-hmm. And that was quite interesting for me to listen to.
I mean, they've got some good players. They do.
Mm-hmm. Have they been able to play all their games except
Yes.
for us? They were driving to our game when
They were at our field already,
Yes.
and they had a kid that had been tested or something, so then they went back. Mm-hmm. And then in the meantime, one of our kids got it.
had gotten tested.
So this is a
earlier.
makeup game with Athens.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
Originally, we were supposed to play Wyalusing, but this 3 days ago, there was a new rule made in Wyalusing that they would not play a school who had not been back to school for at least 5 days and not had any cases. So we've been quarantined, the football team, over 2 weeks, but they will not play us until we've had school for 5 days, which doesn't make sense to me because if you go back to school, you'd be around more kids, wouldn't you have a better chance of getting it? It seems like they want to play us before we got back to school.
Yeah.
But just saying.
So Amanda agrees with me, Tennessee. Becky wants to know, are you worried about a flood? Is that why you want to live near the Ark?
It just interests me, stuff like that.
You want to be near the Ark so that when people come visit us, they can go visit the Ark.
I just want to hang out. Maybe I could get a job there. Maybe I could.
That's a
seem
good
like
idea.
I was, intelligent or something that I could give all kinds of information about the Ark.
Yeah. Daniel wants to know, do you think the Snow Owls are Donnie and Marie Osmond?
It
crossed my mind. I'm not going to lie. It crossed my mind.
Too, but Donnie's already been in, so I don't think they would have.
But Marie hasn't.
She hasn't, but if one guy's in and he's in again, I mean, that's not fair.
Okay. We can't tell how flamboyant, like the peacock, we kind of figured out.
It does, I'm going to be honest, it does sound some like them. It really does. But I just can't fathom that they would put Donnie in again after he was already in once.
Daniel, do you think that the seahorse is Christina Aguilera, but she's kind of keeping it on the down low? That's what I'm wondering.
I think that...
Do you think that
she's put on a little bit of weight, though, hasn't she? That girl looked pretty thin.
I don't know. I haven't seen her lately.
I haven't seen her in a while either, but she has a tremendous voice.
So
Christina
Stacy
Aguilera.
said St. Louis Ark is in my state, Missouri. See, I thought he was saying Ark as well. He's saying Ark as in
Noah's Ark.
Noah's
yeah,
Ark. Big Ark in Kentucky. That's what he was
Stuff
saying.
like that interesting.
I thought he was saying Ark. 3 weeks now. 3 weeks the boys have been quarantined.
Yeah, I mean, just...
And we haven't had any more positive cases within the school district.
Well, somebody asked the other day, well, how many football players tested positive? 1. That's it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
everybody else had to quarantine, but nobody else tested positive of those that got tested.
Correct.
Yes.
And this is what I want to know. Now that we brought up COVID a little bit here.
Uh-oh. Is this going to get ugly again?
Maybe a little bit. We have Cuomo on CNN who was having hallucinations and it was so awful and he had to stay in his basement and okay, so either he's making up a huge story on how awful it was, or President Trump at 74 just showed him up. One of the two.
I thought he was...
Showed him up.
So Cuomo, I thought, was staying in his basement so that his wife and kids didn't get
he
it.
was talking to his brothers about how bad it was and a hallucination. He didn't even stay in his basement. He got caught outside.
No, but then his wife and one of his kids got it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you know that?
Yeah. We've had more cases up here, you know what I mean, in this area, but I was expecting that to happen. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later. You know what I mean? It's going to.
We've had quite an uptick, though. At the end of August,
you're going
we
to.
had our 100th case, and we're up to 258. So we've had 158 cases in Bradford County since August 27th.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Sorry,
it's
that's a lot.
It's going to happen, though. You know, it's going to happen. When you have a lot of people at the end of the summer that went out on vacations, went other places, came back, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got kids back in school, you know, there's a lot more contact, though it doesn't seem like that's really the issue, you know what I mean?
The kids in school is not the issue.
I don't think it is.
No. Okay.
I mean, the ones that I know of
So
that
what do you
got
think
around
it is? Do you
here
think it's
didn't get it from kids at school, you know what I mean?
True. Do you
So-
think it's just people being too lax about social? Like, I'm not sure the masks really help, but obviously social distancing, I think, does help you not be able to get it. I think that helps more than the masks. Personal opinion.
I don't think the masks do anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't think.
But do you think social distancing does something?
Obviously, it would. You know what I mean. But it's like you go in the grocery store and you pick up a loaf of bread that somebody else had picked up and put back early. I mean, just things like that. It's gonna, you know, unless you're washing your hands every second. But also, I think people are also less. They're a little bit immune deficient. Is that the right word? Because they're not out doing things like they used to. So they're not building up immunity to things because they're not in contact with
Their
it.
immunity is weaker.
Yes, it's a weaker immunity, I think.
So Daniel thinks the popcorn is Gloria Gaynor. I think she was a Christian artist at one point, wasn't
Gloria
she?
Gaynor?
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to look her up. I'm not sure who Gloria Gaynor is.
We'll look her up, Daniel, and then we'll tell you what we think. And Amanda Carrion says most cases in Bradford County are at the Manor.
That's true.
There is a lot at the Manor. Mm-hmm. There is a lot at the Manor, but I don't know what. I think the last number was like 60, and there's still a lot of other ones outside the Manor too.
Yeah.
Will the Tennessee Titans be forced to forfeit games since they violated protocols?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Craig doesn't follow
I don't follow
mainstream football
I don't
a whole
follow
lot.
the pros that much.
Mainstream football.
I did see O'Brien got fired. I did see that the Patriots quarterback was quarantined because he had tested positive. And I will say why they started.
What?
I did happen to watch a little football the other night. The Patriots were on, and I was kind of bored. And who started for them? The guy Hoyer. They brought in Hoyer he is awful. He is terrible. He is one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. He is a practice squad quarterback. Why they started him over the other guy, I have no idea. I have no idea. But he made so many mistakes. It was unbelievable. I've never seen so many mistakes.
And you love your Patriots.
I do.
He loves his Patriots. He's followed his Patriots for a very long time.
Since I was about
Are you
10.
Still a Patriots fan?
I'm still a Patriots fan,
Okay.
yeah. I want to
You
see
just
them.
don't like their choices in starting quarterbacks.
I thought it was dumb to start Hoyer. Yes, he was terrible. Yes.
Interesting.
Very.
Yeah. What else do we have to talk about?
School's online's starting to wind down.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm ready to get it wound down. I was talking to the kids today on a meet, and they've had enough.
Did you have more kids on the meet today than you have? Have you been having, like, the first time you did a meet, I think you had told me you had 7 or 8 kids.
Yeah,
correct?
I've had a few more.
Are you up to 10 or 15? Or not that many?
Not that many, no. No, but it's...
So the kids are telling you they're tired of it too.
They're tired of it.
Yeah.
Yes, they are tired of it. They're ready to go back to school.
Yeah.
As are the teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people think that the teachers like it because they don't have to deal with the kids and stuff. I would much rather be in the classroom with the kids than doing the online stuff.
That's interesting because back in June, like we got done with last year, and I said to you, if they give you a choice to be online, would you want to be online or do you think you want to be in the classroom? And you said at that point you would rather be online.
That was a whole different ballgame, though. That
Just
was
saying,
just...
that's what you said.
Yeah, no, that was a whole different ballgame.
And then a couple times throughout the summer, I'd be like, "Are you sure you're ready, like for the fall and to go online if you need to?" Oh yeah, well, I'm ready. Yeah,
I am.
No, he was not ready.
No, I was ready until it was like, hey, you need to put out so many minutes of video, and then I put out so many minutes of video, and then no, that wasn't right, and so you think you're doing something right, as in you heard it straight from their mouth, and then it's like, well, no, really, you could do it this other way. It's like, so yeah, so that was frustrating. The frustrating part, though, is trying to get the homework from the kids and have them do a good job on it. Because, like, for some of the assignments, I'd rather not do multiple choice, but it's more convenient for them if I do multiple choice, and then they're just a lot of times guessing on the multiple choice. They're doing it to get it done rather than putting time into it, and then sometimes they forget an assignment, and then it seems like every time I'm calling, it's to call them to tell them to, get their assignments in rather than just being able to, just
check in with them.
Right.
Yeah. Craig likes to call them just to check in with them.
So that's what the greets have been, but there haven't been a bunch of kids on there. So yeah.
So the kids are telling you in the greet,
and the emails are getting tough because there's things that should be blatantly obvious. Like when I say, hey, you got 63 out of 65 correct.
That's a good score.
And I tell you how to find the percentage, divide 63 by 65. And they ask me, what is 63 divided by 65? You don't have a calculator on your phone that you can just punch that in? You're seriously going to make me figure that out?
Do you remember when your math teacher would say, you're not always going to have a calculator with you?
Correct.
Do you remember your teacher saying that? And guess what? We have a calculator
We always
with
have a
us all the
calculator
time.
with us all the time. You're right.
We have a calculator with us all the time. And I think, I've never actually used it, but I think there's even like a scientific, I think you can make it be a scientific calculator to do all those other things too. Hey, baby.
And then what's hard too is you're calling and trying to get a hold of parents. Well, half the time you call and then you realize, I caught them at work, which I didn't really want to do. You know what I mean? But we're supposed to call during the school day while we're there. You know what I mean? With the school phone, we're hey, we're supposed to call for at least an hour a day. So that gets tough too because I don't think parents want me calling during their workout. You know what I mean? So it's.
Would you want
no.
Would you want a teacher from the high school calling you while you were trying to work? No.
No, so that's the frustrating thing.
That is frustrating.
It is frustrating.
I agree.
It's not a good situation. Unfortunately, I think it's probably going to happen at least one more time before the year's over.
You think so?
Yeah. Just as high strung as they are about this, yes. If it were up to me in a perfect world, we'd let the kids go to school. We'd have a bunch of kids end up getting the flu, and then we'd be done. But that's my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an expert or anything, but I would keep Grandma and Grandpa away, let the kids all get it, build up immunity, and be done.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think of President Trump going back to the White House and out of the hospital? Do you think he's really okay, or do you think he's still...
I think he's okay.
You think he's okay? That's your opinion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do. I think he's a healthy individual.
Okay.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
As many hours as he goes and lack of sleep that he's had through the years, I mean, he's a healthy... A lot of people couldn't do what he does in the amount of time that he does.
You couldn't?
No, never. Couldn't come close. I'd need at least 2 naps a day with his schedule. Jeepers.
I think it was last night Craig came home from work and went right in
to
take a nap.
I took a nap.
At
I wanted to today, but
you didn't.
No, I started some laundry and started cleaning up and started cooking supper, so...
Yes.
Yes. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the debate tonight. A lot of people say Kamala's going to win. So
I don't know these two as well. I mean...
I know them pretty well. I know the bad stuff on Kamala, so...
Do you know the bad stuff on Pence?
I do know some rumors of bad stuff on Pence that's like really deep.
Interesting.
But I don't know
Conspiracy
if it's true.
theory
Conspiracy theory deep, yes.
Yes.
So, I'm still waiting to see if that comes to fruition or not.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. You're not going to tell them what you know?
On who?
Sometimes they want to know what you know. I don't know.
Conspiracy? Yeah.
Wendy says it seems to affect people so differently. Very curious virus. So some people...
I'm still under the impression that it is some type of biological warfare thing. I think it's man-made. Whether they intended for it to get out or not, who knows, but it just has too many things that...
I think it's kind of curious that all of Trump's people are getting it, but we haven't heard of any Biden people getting it from the debate.
True.
I think that's interesting. I think the kids learn better at school. My niece can't focus at home.
That's a lot of time on a computer for a kid. It really is.
And then Joe, of course, wants to know, tell us about the deep state.
Which deep state?
Is there more than one? Apparently there's more than one deep state.
Well, supposedly Pence is part of the deep state. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But supposedly he's...
This is what I know
Some shady things went on in Indiana from what I hear. But that's the deep, deep state.
He supposedly has a pretty squeaky clean record, doesn't he?
Well, not as clean as what...
Not?
Depends on who you listen to.
I already know what you think of Kamala. He's already made that very clear to me what he thinks of her.
I really don't like how she treated the guy that was going for the Supreme Court. I thought that was appalling.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know. I have issues with Kamala because she's so big on... She's jumping on the Black Lives Matter thing when her great-grandfather was a slave owner in Jamaica. And she put a lot of young black men in jail for long periods of time for, small infractions. Like, marijuana and stuff like that. So, yes. Pence was more, from what I hear... possibly into the human trafficking, which really scares me if it's true. That scares me.
Why does that scare you?
Because I don't want to think that he's that way.
You made me think that lots of people were that way.
Right. I think a lot of people are.
And that's why I don't like hearing about it, because lots and lots and lots of people. who are politicians and leaders and
I want
things.
an elective class call into a Deep State 101 with Professor Al. Boy, you could really get into it.
Joe,
What I
sure.
really want to do, Joe, is I want to get into the actual law.
You asked for this.
And
I'm
get
just
into that. I would
warning you.
really like to study. There's a class actually I'd like to take. It's like $1,000. Tanya won't let me do it. But
I did not say that.
But it talks about the law. The law is so much different than what we understand it. The law is all based on contract. Okay, pretty much what the judges do is they decide who pays money from whose account to who, to be honest with you. And a lot of times it's not even constitutional, to be honest with you. It's through the bar, which is out of England, and it's actually maritime law, the law of contract, the law of the sea. It's not what the law of the land is supposed to be, which is common law. But that would take a long time to explain and a lot of hours, and I still got a lot to do a lot of research myself. But that's what I would like to do. I would like to study into that and then go into court and get people off these ridiculous lawsuits that are put against them. That's what I would like to do.
Tin Hat came out just there.
And even like your bank loans and stuff. What makes your bank loan, what gives it the authority to have what it has? What gives it the value? What gives it the value is actually your signature. It's not the bank that has the value. The bank doesn't even have the money. They don't have to have the money to loan you. What they do is they have you sign it, and then that is your promise to pay. They don't actually have the money. You're creating that money with your signature is what you're doing. But they don't tell you that, and then they charge you interest on it. I've studied a little bit of that too, so. But anyway, the world's run by bankers. That's how it is. The Rothschilds, big part of it. So, yeah, I could go down that hole for a long time. So
He has listened to multiple YouTubers about this same subject.
I've actually done like reading in books on it too and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
There is a course that I would like to take, and there is a guy that actually, what did he do? He dropped his United States citizenship, became a citizen somewhere else, and is an ambassador or whatever they call it. So he can do business in the United States and live in the United States with diplomatic immunity. So, yeah. I'd like to study the law that, because he's put a lot of, he has gotten many judges to have to resign because of misusing the law.
So this is when I started looking into getting off the grid. So
Right.
when he decides to go be a non-citizen, whatever, that.
And then there's different forms of citizens, what people don't realize. There's a United States citizen, which is actually, the United States of America is actually a corporation that's running our country. It's not really the country itself, it's a corporation. So we're actually a part of that. There's another citizenship that makes you more of a sovereign instead of part of the corporation. So there's a lot of ins and outs. And a lot of times people don't go to jail like Hillary and those people because they know how to work the citizenship and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a deep hole. Don't go in it yet. Let me get more informed. And then I'll do a class, Joe.
It's a rabbit hole.
It's got a lot of good information in there, though. The key is to keep people dumb because you can control people when they're dumb. When they start to get intelligent, that's when they start getting in trouble.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah. Like you get these doctors that learn how to heal without medicine, these holistic doctors. All of a sudden they start dropping like flies. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what happens.
So chiropractors?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm just telling you, that's what happens. They don't want the truth to get out.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I don't know.
The deep, deep hole. Joe, you're trying to get me in the deep hole. I'm trying to stay out of that for right now.
He did get you in the deep hole.
I've been staying away from it for a little while. I was going to wait till after the election. And then possibly get back in it again or run for a third party.
We have a month till the election.
Is the earth flat or round? I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, Wendy.
There is a lot of stuff that makes it seem like it's flat, but I still believe it is round. That's my personal
Craig
opinion.
is not a flat earther.
I'm not a flat earther, but I do see stuff where they say, it looks pretty convincing.
I did have him explain that to me.
I go
because
back
I'm
and
like,
forth.
What is their thought process in thinking that it's flat? And so he said that the flat earthers believe that Antarctica runs all the way around the
outside,
edge
yeah.
of... I had to understand this because I'm like, how do they even think it's flat? So they think that Antarctica runs all the way around the whole outside of the world. I don't know.
The biggest reason that I think that it is not flat is like when they sent that guy way up in the air and then he jumped out of the thing in the atmosphere. Did you see that? Where the guy went up like he was out almost into space and then jumped out and came all the way back to Earth. You ever see that one?
No.
It was like a Red Bull thing or something.
Okay.
After you get up so far, you can see the round of the Earth. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. Now, I'm still not, Joe's not going to like this.
Oh, Becky asked you a question.
What's that?
Did we land on the moon?
That's what I was going to get to. I go back and forth on that one.
So
I
you're
honestly
saying
go back and forth
maybe.
on that.
You're saying maybe.
The one that really gets me the most, this is the one that gets me the most on the moon issue, okay? When you got the guy from NASA talking, somebody's asking him about going to the moon, and he says, no, we can't go there because of some belt they can't go through because it's radioactive. He said, we used to have the technology, but we got rid of it, so we can't go now because we've lost that technology. Why would you ever get rid of that technology? I mean, that sends a big light bulb for me. You would never get rid of that technology. So, I don't know. But there's radiation out there that you'd have to go, the Van Allen belt, that you would have to go through. And when Greg and I looked at that little spaceship down in the museum, it looked like Reynolds wrap around some bars. I don't see how that could go.
Was it the real one or was it just a display?
Supposedly that was the one, or a replica of one of the two.
Oh, it might have been a replica, but
I don't
not
know.
a true
I
replica.
go back and forth on that one.
Greg says never was on the moon. He believes that he. Are you a flat earther, Greg? I don't even know if he's a flat earther. But
Yeah, I am not sure if we landed on the moon. I'm not sure.
he's unsure.
And another thing is I watched a famous guy that did motion picture stuff.
Joe Hollett says Iceland looks a lot like the moon.
True.
And he was in Iceland.
He was.
Didn't you go to your honeymoon?
He took his honeymoon in Iceland.
Actually, Iceland's on our bucket
I tried to
list.
talk. You told me we couldn't go.
I thought it was cold, but it's actually warm, so I'm okay with that. I don't want to go someplace
Well,
cold.
you never told me that. Well, anyway.
I don't want to go
back
someplace
to the
cold,
moon.
But Iceland's actually
There was a videographer or whatever, and it actually showed the same scene, and it showed like lights and stuff where said he was the one that filmed it.
Oh.
And said that
We landed on the moon.
right. He was the one that said that they did that, and he was coming out and confessing.
So if we don't land on the moon, if we never did, and they send NASA sends these rocket ships up, where do the rocket ships go until they come back down?
I believe they can go into space and go. They can go around the Earth. They can rotate in a certain. But I don't. What's that?
Greg is saying he's not a flat earther.
I'm not a flat
absolutely
earther.
to never landed on the moon. He absolutely thinks that we never landed on the moon, though.
I'm not sure we did. I'm going to be honest with you.
So they just send these the astronauts up. They circle around the Earth and then they come back down.
Oh, I think they have. I think that you can get so far up, the gravity is so far away that you can rotate around the Earth, and there's satellites and stuff up there. I believe that.
Okay.
But I know I saw one time where it was showing like that thing that supposedly landed on Mars and was going around, and they had a place up in Canada where it showed like a van outside that said NASA or something, and this little robot going. Now, was that just the practice run, or was that being taped from there and sent back and saying, "Oh, this is"? No.
So Joe says, so where did all the Saturn V rockets go?
Don't know.
They were disposable. Only a capsule came back.
Well, they probably burn. I'm not saying you can't go through that. They probably burn up in the Van Allen belt that we can't get through because we got rid of the technology. Why would you get rid of the technology? I mean, seriously, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard from NASA. The guy's on there saying, well, we used to be able to do that, but we got rid of the technology to do it. And that takes a while to get it back. Why would you get rid of the technology?
I didn't hear the interview, so I don't know what you're talking about.
If my phone wasn't doing that right now, I would look it up and show you where the guy said that.
Gotcha.
And there's too many times when you see like people up in space talking and you see like a shirt coming up because there's a wire holding them up. Or like you got two guys, you're looking at them and all of a sudden a guy comes by in the background that's attached to like a strap that's holding him up as he comes across. There's too many of those things where they messed up. And sometimes when there's a water bubble going by, when they're supposedly working outside of the ship, I don't know. And then where the shadows are, you got the shadows up on the moon that don't match. Like some are in one direction, some are in another direction, which is impossible if the sun's shining in one direction. But if there's lights down, then you can see shadows in different directions. So, unless it was a light from the thing they landed. I don't know. There's just too many questions. Too many questions for me. I go back and forth. There's times that I think, oh yeah, we did. And then there's other times I'm like, just didn't happen. So I don't know on that one. Someday I will. Someday I will find out.
How will you find out? Joe's not liking this conversation. He wants to believe that we landed on the moon.
But then you have the other extreme. You have some people that are saying that we actually have a space force that has been going back and forth to Mars for years, talking with other civilizations. You know, so you have both sides of the fence. You have, oh, we haven't been to the moon yet, and you have those that are like, we've got spaceships coming in and out all the time with aliens. So, I don't know. I'm still up in the air on that one. I'm more interested in law. That's what I'm interested in. Law.
Didn't President Trump create Space Force or like Air Force?
I think
Navy?
Space Force is going. Space Force is going to be more about.
Am I wrong, guys?
No, Space Force is going to be more about satellites in space and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Satellites for controlling information and controlling. Like they see a rocket go off in Russia, they'll be able to take care of it before it gets even to Europe. You know what I mean? It's just the reaction time they're going to have.
I thought Space Force was like another branch of the military.
Supposedly what they want to do is they want to put Wi-Fi through satellites encapsulating the entire world so that you can have Wi-Fi wherever you're at in the world, whether it be in Timbuktu or New York City. That's what they want to do. They want to put a net all the way around the world of Wi-Fi. That's what
not
they
a
want
physical net, like a invisible net.
There'll be satellites up there, so far apart, but every part of that will be pumping Wi-Fi down.
Greg says, I don't doubt that we've been in space. I'm just saying, first moon landing was a hoax. We needed that at that time.
Yeah. I can agree with that. We're trying to get to the moon. We're trying to beat Russia. We get ahead of it, yes. And that makes us look more
like
powerful.
We won.
Yeah, like we beat Russia.
Who was the president there?
I don't know. Huge microwave oven.
She's talking about the Wi-Fi net around the world.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm not sure I like that. No, not at all.
So what was the purpose to bankrupt the Soviet Union with the space race? So was the purpose to bankrupt? Was that the purpose?
They actually got bankrupted later, so I don't really think that was the...
You don't think that was the purpose?
I don't think that was the sole purpose. I think it was to make us look like we were technically superior to Russia, I think. I think it was a power thing. That's what I think. I don't know. It's so hard to believe stuff anymore.
You think?
It is. It makes you question everything anymore. It's like you look at stuff today.
I don't know
like,
who to believe.
Like
half
what's
the time.
coming out in the news today? What's coming out in the news today is that Brennan.
Oh, the president was Nixon.
Brennan had a meeting with Obama and some other people to inform them that Hillary Clinton was planning to create a hoax with Donald Trump and Russia to draw attention away from her emails. That was written in Brennan's notes that they have brought out. Okay?
Are these the things that...
How many years have we been through now that it's been, oh, Russia collusion, Russia collusion, Russia collusion? Now they can trace it clear back to the notes from Brennan informing President Obama, but yet they still push this narrative. The news media still pushes this narrative. So it's hard to believe anything anymore because you rely on the news source, okay, to tell you supposedly the truth. And here you find, I knew it was a lie, but here you find evidence to prove it was a lie. And then what did we have the last time we had a big argument on here? Well, it wasn't an argument, but what did she say? We need fact checkers. Okay, what did we find out about these taxes? What did we find out?
What taxes?
Trump's taxes.
I don't know that he's a very good businessman and finds ways to not pay taxes.
No, what did we find
normal.
out?
That's normal.
But what did we find out?
Business people.
No. You're missing the point. What did we find out? They were talking about the $750 that he paid in. Oh, the $750 that he paid in was because he paid too much in previous years and just kept it in there to take care of the following years. So that's why it was only $750 because he owed so many and he paid, let's say, $500,000 too much. So he still had that in there, rolled it over. So then what was left, he paid.
We've done that before.
I know. But the whole thing, oh, he only paid $750. Maybe she should have checked her tax.
I'm okay, Wendy. I'm doing fine.
Yes.
She said, poor Tanya, you look like this is painful.
Yeah, she gets painful when we get into conspiracy
When he gets
theories.
down his rabbit holes, it's hard.
It's
Because
tough, yeah.
if he really goes through with some of this stuff, then I worry about, like...
I'll be honest, I do watch people who have done it.
Like losing
Okay.
everything, Wendy. That's what I worry about. That's why I've been looking at going off the grid.
There have been people that have done it that just got out of the system.
But then what do they live off of? Because if you don't have a social security number and you don't have
You don't
checking
need one.
account
You don't
and you
need
don't
one.
have, you know,
You don't
a
need one.
retirement, like how do you live?
You know what they're for?
So that's why I worry.
You know what they're for? The
I get
social security
concerned.
number and your birth certificate and all that is just to make you part of the system, and then they can trade that on the market for the value of you. That's what they do. They make you a corporation through that, and then you are traded on the market. Don't you remember the one day when I looked up a birth
I
certificate
know.
on
I
that
remember
site?
all of the stuff.
And it showed
I try
all the
not to
countries
remember.
where
I try
they
not
traded
to
me.
remember. I try not to remember.
The one that really freaked her out, though, is when I looked at that thing on Deagle.
I don't remember the name Deagle. Sorry.
When I looked up the U.S. population for
Yeah, but that
2025,
could be
and it was
because
like
of this
millions.
virus now.
What I'm saying, they predicted it.
I know.
It says battery insufficient or sufficient. Did you get it charged all the way? Is that what it said?
It's,
Okay. I thought we were going to die again. Joe, just so we don't run out at a crucial time, I am plugged into a battery here.
yes,
Okay.
Joe. Thanks for the tip. Joe, I had a little chat with Joe on Sunday at the Pumpkin Festival, which Craig actually enjoyed, even though he said he didn't. And Joe said that we should have the phone plugged in while we're on so that we don't get the battery dying on us. So,
Correct.
Here's our battery pack.
Yes.
We're plugged in.
We're plugged in.
I've got the computer here so I could share to my page and Craig could share to his so
So now
nobody
you
would
can
get
see
lost
me on
and you
the
could
phone.
find us.
Yeah, we're going.
So,
Yeah, we're getting high tech. Joe's going to make us
Oh.
YouTube.
he said he has some
Professionals.
ideas for us. I think that she must have deleted her comment.
Who?
Becky White said if there's alien sorry Becky, I caught it. Becky White said that if there's aliens traveling back and forth from Mars to Earth, that would explain Washington, D.C.
I don't even think that.
Sorry, that's
I
very
don't even.
funny.
I don't
It's
even
very
think
funny.
that could explain Washington D.C.
That was funny, Becky.
I tell you what, there are
She
so
deleted
many
it, but
good
it's okay.
memes out right now.
Oh, what was that meme you said the other day that
What?
it was bad?
Oh, I'm not going to say that one. That one was pretty.
It was about believing in Santa Claus. If you believe in Santa Claus, the same people that...
I don't remember that one.
Wasn't it something about the same people that want their kids to still believe in Santa Claus believe that Joe Biden would be a good president?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You said it to me. You
Okay.
read it to me.
That wasn't one of the good ones, though.
Oh, that wasn't even one of the good ones. Okay.
The one was, if you're wearing a mask while you're driving, no need to tell us who you're voting for. We already know.
Yes, Becky wrote here. She didn't delete it. If we have aliens traveling back and forth, that would totally explain Washington, D.C.
I don't know if anything can explain Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is a swamp. It's people that get in there to... Actually, people are groomed to go there by big business because they want them to vote the way they want to. And then they end up using it as a gravy train. I mean, you got Biden in there for 47 years, for goodness sakes. And you got Pelosi in there. And all that. They're in there too long. And they're not in there to do their civil duty to help out the country. They're just there to satisfy those that help get them elected. That's all that they're in there for. Drives me nuts.
What about time travelers? Joe wants to know.
Ooh.
So Craig actually told me about a book about Baron Trump.
Baron Trump, yeah.
And that he's a time traveler.
Well, the book was written a long time ago, and it had a lot of things that are very similar to what's happening now. Like the father was an entrepreneur who went on to be a government leader, and yeah, it's no. The biggest thing that I see with time travel right now is it's not more. It's
Don't
more.
go to 2020. That's
No,
what
it's
it
more.
says.
It's more on quantum computers. They have so much data stored up on. They have so much data stored up on everybody right now that they can make predictions that are uncanny. You know what I mean? So they can look out, a certain amount of years and see what they think is going to happen by the trends and everything of today. So that I would say that's the biggest thing that when people talk about time traveling right now, it's more of a computer time travel type thing where they can put in numbers.
So they
and
can
data.
create an avatar of us and predict what we're gonna do. Based
Predict that
on
we can
data
do
that they already
data
have on
and
us.
also data of what they can do to influence society in that direction. Let's be honest. Everything now is about influencing society. That's what it is. Everything now is about influencing society. What's Greg got?
Well, first Greg said Einstein thought that time travel was possible.
He did.
And then he said, I can guarantee it hasn't happened in my future because definitely would have visited myself.
True. You would have, Greg. But, what was I saying?
You would have visited yourself and worked on the barn at night while your other self was sleeping so you could get your barn done faster.
What was I saying? I got off track.
That's because we started talking about time travel.
No, there was something that I was talking about with the computer things.
How they can predict what we're going to do.
Oh, no.
I need that one, Greg.
No, it's all about manipulating people. The news is about manipulating people. The computer stuff, the Facebook, all of that is about manipulating. They're going to find your interests, this and that. They're going to expose them. They're going to try to change your opinions by certain things that they throw out, certain things that they make pop up in your feed that you're going to read. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about doing something and they think that, they'd like to get some money out of you going on vacation or something, they're going to throw the ads out that you've been talking about or looking up on your phone or computer and stuff. It's all about deceit And if you look back at some of the things that have happened in history, I think everybody probably knows now that Kennedy was not shot by one person, by Lee Harvey Oswald, and it probably wasn't even him. It was probably parts of our own government and the bankers and stuff and mafia and stuff that took care of it. You know what I mean? I think the majority of the people would probably say, yeah, that's probably the truth. But back then, you know, what do? They hide the story and they put their own narrative out there to make the whole country think a certain way. I think you're going to see that happen with 9/11 too. Truth's going to come out about that, and people are going to be shocked at what really happened and who was really behind it. So, my opinion.
Another rabbit hole, guys.
There's actually a law case going on about that right now. So, just like some people right now that were saying the whole time Russia collusion. How can you possibly believe Russia collusion now after this new stuff is coming out? Seriously.
I don't follow it that closely, so I never believed he was...
You have John Brennan's notes talking to the president and other people, telling them that Hillary Clinton was going to get a Russian collusion narrative started to draw away from her email scandal. It's in John Brennan's notes. How do you get past that? Seriously.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's Doris. I bet Doris recognizes this back here, right? Yes. She knows.
She stayed on. Some people just jump on.
She knows what room this is.
Yes.
Okay.
This used to be a bedroom that we're in, but it's now, we made it into an office.
We're
Doris had it as a...
minus 6 minutes until the debate.
Yes.
The question is how many interruptions are there going to be in this debate?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's going to be nearly as many, to be honest with you.
You think they will
I
be...
don't know, though. Harris. Kamala Harris can be pretty fiery.
Yes. I don't think Pence will be, though. But he might
Pence
surprise
is usually pretty good. He was in the last debate anyway.
Pretty level-headed.
Doris says it looks great. The old pantry. I don't know if her pantry was fuller than that or not.
Yeah.
Mike Jones is watching. Yes.
Okay. So we are almost an hour. So we need to get this wrapped up.
We'll get it wrapped up. And when I get better at law, true law, I will give a 101 class to Joe Carrion.
There you go.
But I've got to get better first. And the one class I want to do is like $1,000, so I'm going to have to save up my pennies.
We almost have our mortgage paid off, so.
It's coming close. It's coming close.
So.
Okay.
All right. Your turn to pray.
Oh, it is. Yes, it is.
Wednesday night.
Yes.
So you get to pray, and then we'll close things down.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another time to be able to socialize on social media, Lord. And dear Heavenly Father, we just ask that tonight's debate, Lord, can be easier to follow. Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask that you would keep people from getting angry while watching it, Lord. We just hope that that good ideas would come out of it, Lord, and a clear picture for what you want in this country would come out of it. Dear Heavenly Father, there are a lot of things that we do not know, Lord, but what we do know for sure is that you are the King, that you sent your Son to die for us, Lord, to be our Savior, and we thank you for that. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching.
We will see you later.
Bye.